So what does it mean to evaluate a power when we have a negative exponent? Let's first recall what it means when we have a positive exponent, such as 2 to the third power. What that means is it's equal to 2 times 2 times 2. The number here, which is called the base, tells us what number we're going to repeatedly multiply, and the number up here, called the exponent, tells us how many times to do it, in this case 3. Therefore, 2 to the third power is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. This makes perfect sense, and it's a nice shorthand of the power notation when we're dealing with positive powers. However, situations might occur mathematically when we get something that's a negative power, but that doesn't make as much sense to intuitively. What does it mean to multiply something by itself negative 3 times? There's no immediately obvious answer, but if we dig into the pattern, I think we can understand what's going on. So let's create a little t-table to see what's going on here. We've already said that 2 to the third power is equal to 8. 2 squared is then going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 to the first power is simply 2, which is equal to 2. 2 times itself one time equals 2. Now let's pause from making our table and observe what's going on. In the left-hand column, each time here we notice the exponent decreases by 1. 3, 2, 1 decreases by 1. On the right-hand side, let's observe what's going on here. I go from 8 to 4 to 2. Each time I'm cutting the number in half, or in other words, dividing it by 2. This makes sense because each time I go up the table, I'm multiplying by 2 another time. So when I go down the table, I'm dividing by 2 another time. So then, if this pattern continues, 2 to the 0 power, which continues the pattern on the left, subtracting 1 from the exponent, should be 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 1. If we continue this pattern yet a step further on the left-hand side, we will have 2 to the negative 1. If we keep taking the exponent down by 1, after 0 we'll get to negative 1. On the left-hand side, if we divide 1 by 2 again, we will get 1 half. 1 divided by 2 is equal to 1 half. Continuing the pattern further, on the left-hand side we get 2 to the negative 2, and on the right-hand side we would get 1 half divided by 2, and half of 1 half is 1 quarter. So to kind of round this out, we'll take it one step further, and we see that 2 to the negative 3 power is equal to half of 1 quarter. Half of 1 quarter is 1/8. So what does this mean in general? Two things actually we can conclude. First, about the 0 exponent. 2 to the 0 is equal to 1 because 2 to the first power is itself, and then I divided by 2, which gave me 1. Now that can be true for not just for 2, but for any number. In general, we can conclude that a to the 0 power is equal to 1 for any a, for all a's, let's just say. The next conclusion is just a little more difficult to understand, but let's look at this. If we have a to the power of negative n, this shows us that it's equal to 1 over a to the n. I'm going to use some of the examples at the bottom of my table to prove this point over here. So in this particular case, our a is 2. So we have 2 to the negative 2. My claim, based on what I'm saying over here, is that 2 to the negative 2 should be equal to 1 over 2 to the positive 2. Negative n, negative 2, positive n. We're going to put a positive 2 over here. And we can see how this is true. 2 to the negative 2 is equal to 1 over 2 to the positive 2, because 1 over 2 squared is the same as 1 over 4. Let's do just one more here using this example. Again, in this case, our a is 2, so we have 2 to the negative 3, and according to our formulation, 2 to the negative 3 should be equal to 1 over 2 to the 3. Back over on the left, we have 1 over 2 to the 3, which is in fact equal to 1 over 2 cubed, or 1 over 8. Alright, this one will probably take a while to digest, so you might want to look at the video again, get plenty of practice, but these two formulas that I have over here, that any number raised to the 0 power is 1, and a number raised to a negative is equal to 1 over that number to the positive. So get some practice, look it over again, and I'm sure you'll get there. Thank you.